So it is 7:15 in the morning. I have just woken up. About to go meditate, and then we're gonna go lift. I'll take you guys to a leg day with me, and then we'll figure it out from there. But weekend in the life of Cohen Zimmerman.
All right, so we just went to the gym. I was gonna take us to our gym in my neighborhood to film, but I couldn't find the keys. So we're going to my big box gym that I go to. I'll see how much I can film, but if I can't film, I'll just give you a rundown of what I do. It's nothing crazy. My leg days are pretty low. I'm a pretty active guy, so I need to be able to run, be agile, all that. So having big legs isn't really my goal, just strong legs. So it's mostly just minimal strength training with some like upkeep work and a little bit of like mobility practice and things like that. So a lot of like hybrid movements that frankly aren't going to give me really wide, thick legs or really nice calves, but they work pretty well for the mobility and they give me quite a lot of strength. So that's the sort of training I do. I'll also typically go for some sort of like a run, a walk, or walking on the Stairmaster. So we'll do probably Stairmaster today. And then either tomorrow or Monday, because I have Monday off, I like to get in like a 5-ish mile hike with a weighted pack, doing some little mobility exercises along the way, push-ups. I guess that's not really mobility, but little like just normal body weight exercises. So we're doing some push-ups, squats, lunges, bear crawls. Those suck. And that's pretty much the only ways I train my legs. On Wednesdays and Saturdays, I do this light little hybrid training for my legs. And then on Sundays, sometimes Saturdays, I'll do a really long run or a weighted hike. And that's how I train my legs. So we're gonna go get into that.
When I'm next to you, when I'm next to you.
Alright, so I just made myself a little bit of breakfast. I am pretty strict on my eating, so I eat at 10, then 2, and then between 5:30 and 6 every day. Just gives me a little bit of fasting in the morning, so I cut a little bit of weight. I pretty much do this all year round, I feel like I feel better whenever I eat at those times, because I go to sleep between 8:30 and 9, so it just gives me a good bit of time before I go to sleep. So right now I made myself an omelet and a little bit of oatmeal with no sugar, just some raisins and a little bit of these protein Cheerios I just put on top for just a little bit of extra crunch, a little bit of extra protein. And then I had my supplements with my coffee, so I put a little bit of creatine and some collagen inside of that for a little bit more protein right after my workout. And then I drank that, had some water, and now we're gonna eat. And then after that, I'm gonna get into a little bit of work, playing a little bit of guitar, and just getting as much as I can done today. I'll probably wash my car. Usually I like to keep my Sundays for washing things, but we'll do that on Saturday because I think my Sunday's gonna be a bit busy. So we'll get on to that. So. Umba. Nice. So I am learning Italian because I'm going to school in Italy. I'm going to a school called Bocconi in Milan, and I figured it'd be a good time to start learning Italian. So the way I'm doing this is I'm doing maybe 5 to 6 lessons per day on Duolingo, and then I downloaded a grammar book called Basic Italian and Grammar and Workbook on PDF, and then I'm just going through and doing about half a section a day. I've been doing this for about a week and a half now. I'm about a quarter of the way through the grammar workbook, so it's went from basics to just like this is how to say this is how to say of, etc., to slightly more complicated things like negating verbs, basic conjugation, and definite, indefinite pronouns, things like that. So it's really the basics, but in combination of that with a podcast I'm listening to called Coffee Break Italian, I'm getting the very basics down. Again, I'm only about a week and a half through, and I do speak French at a B2 level. So the combination of all those things is making this a little bit quicker for me, but I'm definitely not at any sort of conversational level with Italian yet. I'm hoping within about a month I'll be able to, do basic things. And then by the time I get there in August, hopefully I can at least get around decently. But so we'll do a little bit of work on that. But in the meantime, I have a haircut at 11:30 that I'm going to get to in a second. And yeah, we'll see what I look like after that. All right, so I got my haircut. I'm feeling lighter and a little bit more European, which is, pretty good, considering where I'm going. But it is about 1 o'clock now, and I've just knocked out another about 30-40 minutes worth of work. What I'm creating is going to be a template for first-time angel investors to use in order to kind of check themselves and check their investments prior to going into these investments. So what I just went through is created for myself kind of a go, no-go one page. This would be, a small part of this due diligence checklist, but it's kind of just like a final, brain dump onto the page as your final analysis. Hopefully it only takes 10 minutes. This is just your final snap. I'm doing this or not. And I'm doing this for myself because I'm an 18-year-old kid who has never invested in a company, and I'm trying to create a company that is going to give documents to people who are high net worth, highly skilled, and are making this risk decisions. So I have to put myself in their headspace when I'm writing this up. So I'm creating something that isn't naive. It's not made out of thin air, out of someone who doesn't have any experience. I'm then going to be taking everything that I've created here, calling about 25 people who are in the field and highly successful, and asking them explicitly what their biggest mistake was when they first got into angel investment, and secondly, what they think of what I'm doing and what they'd like me to add. Because truth be told, I don't have any experience. This is just something I'm highly interested in. So I need people who truly know something. One, because that's credibility for what I'm creating, but two, because I don't want to give something that's useless here. The hope is that I'm creating something that's actually of value, so that hopefully I can get into business with these people and then eventually invest in the same companies that they are, because access is the biggest game. Having a big check or a big wallet is not the problem with investment. It's having access to these deals. So if I want to play the game, I got to be involved, and that's what I really want. That's the end game. So make a good relationship, make a good product, and hopefully profit, not even off the price, the product, but profit through the relationship that I develop with these people, and to be able to get access to these investments. So just a little bit of work on that. And I think now we're just gonna move on to playing a little bit of guitar. And I think I'm gonna wash my car too. So yeah. Done, and now we're moving on to just having some lunch. Made myself something really simple. It's about 2:30ish, and I made myself some chicken, some rice, some cheese, a little bit of avocado, some peppers, all in a bowl. And then I made myself a little parfait too, a little bit of peanut butter, some bananas, some strawberries, some blueberries, sorry, not strawberries, blueberries, some yogurt, and then a little bit of granola, like protein granola. And that's my lunch. And the next time we eat is about 6, and that'll be that for the day. But yeah, so we're going to eat this really quick, then move on to getting a little more work done, wash my car, playing some guitar, and then I think I'm gonna go out with my friends tonight. We'll get a little bit of video of that too, so that'll be good. All right, so I just finished up, washed my car. Now we're just gonna go for a little run. I think we're gonna do a 5K. I try to go for about 5 miles a week of running, and this week I've done a pretty crap job of that. So we're gonna do a 3 miles today. Just try to knock out a good chunk of that before Sunday. And yeah, so let's go for the run. All right, so I just finished up my day. I totally forgot to record it, but I went over to my friend's house. We hung out for a little bit, nothing crazy, just 2 hours of socializing and all that. So I'm just gonna wind down for tonight. It's like 10:15, which is pretty early for a weekend for most people, but I like to get my Sunday started early. And I have a pretty big meeting tomorrow morning as well that I'm gonna prepare for. So that's what I'm at. I'm gonna journal tonight. And yeah, so we're just gonna get some journaling done and then knock out and get ready for tomorrow morning. I have it on video. Okay, so my meeting this morning was exceptional, and so was golf. I hope you enjoyed the clips from that. I'm really just kind of getting back into it, so I'm not really that good right now, but we'll get back to it. Right now, we're just spending a little bit of time with ChatGPT, kind of working through thought process stuff. My Sundays are big on reflection. I don't really have any work to do right now, so it's just a matter of making sure everything I'm doing right now is good. So basically what I'm doing is I have a prompt called like the master prompt. I plug that into ChatGPT, and then I'm just going through and asking questions about things I'm doing and how I can optimize things that are more in my life. I have like an OS that I operate on called monk mode, and it's like Iman Godzi's concept basically. So I'm working with it just to make sure that the tasks that I'm setting for myself are truly optimal and there's not something else I'm doing or something that I can be thinking about while meditating, or there's something that I can be journaling about or structuring differently to make sure that I am using as much of my time as best as possible. One, for socializing, and two, for just basic academics, business, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I spend my time doing right now. And that's pretty much my day. Yeah, I mean, this is the no frills, realistic truth of what I do. I spent the last 40 minutes eating and watching TV, which isn't the most optimal, but I really could use a break. So I gave myself a break because I got a lot of work done. So yeah, that's day or weekend in the life of a young student.